Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Patek Philippe 5522A-001, the New York City Exhibition limited series of 600 pieces from 2017. You can see this US market exclusive and purchase it now on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and of course complete pricing detail for this pilot-style Patek Philippe Calatrava 5522A. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, the 42mm watch wears well. It actually feels a little bit more compact than 42 would suggest. Part of that is because the watch is only 9mm thick, and you can see the generous slope and step of the conical bezel. Though shallow and plain does help a sleeve to ramp up and over this one. This will fit not just underneath a sport jacket or blazer cuff, but under the dress shirt as well. From lug to lug, it's fairly tidy. 50mm across the wrist is fairly compact for a 42mm round watch, and the timepiece fits easily on my 16cm circumference wrist. I would even say down to about 14 centimeters in circumference. Your wrist is going to wear this one well with style, proportion, and security. Now the strap is a high quality piece. Nothing is entirely conventional with Patek Philippe, though it is an aviator's mode. Nevertheless, the quality in the hand as well as the detail in person is better than what you'll see on the mainstream pilot's genre. As you'll note, there's a reddish brown coloration, but incredibly supple, almost slightly velvet-like quality to the material in the hand. It has sheer sides that, as you can see, are fairly thick by Patek standards. They don't do this treatment of leather too often. With a contrasting stitch, aviator style, and a cross-hatching designed to evoke vintage imagery and swashbuckling pilots of the classic era of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Now you'll note a Clevis-style pin buckle, reminiscent of vintage aviation hardware and cockpit gear, and on the underside there is a natural color calfskin, supple against the skin, Patek Philippe strap, and of course, as with most modern Patek Philippe timepieces, you have the pull-tab spring bars that allow quick removal of the strap without resort to jeweler's tools. You don't have to risk your skill with a screwdriver against these beautifully finished lugs. And it is worth mentioning that the case, though simple, is nuanced. Note the junction between the actual lugs and the case flank. There's a pronounced cleft on the lug top, but it's almost seamless in profile, and you'll see that the lugs join the case band just beneath the joint that connects the bezel and the case band. So there's a slight step to the lugs. They're blended, but there is a slight step and a seam that adds to the visual interest and strength of the watch in profile. And this is something that perhaps needs to be appreciated in person, along with the half step of the bezel. It's not a full step. It's almost like there's a hairline joint between the junction of the case band and the lip of the bezel proper. Quite beautiful, and the flat sapphire is well chosen for its vintage effect. Now you can see the dial is handsome and perhaps reads best in person. I don't know if you can see on the camera the pebble-like grain of this rich navy blue dial, but both the texture and the color are striking, not just the color. And this is something that perhaps, like the case, needs to be appreciated in person. Cathedral-style hands with a broadsword profile at center and a lollipop-style seconds hand with a blued counterweight almost disappears against the blue of the dial. All of the numerals are applied white gold and robustly luminescent. This watch glows like an absolute torch at night, and there is a proportioned, high contrast, railroad style minutes and seconds track outboard. You can see the crown is simple in style and appropriate to the sport style watch. With a screwed in case back, the watch actually achieves 60 meters of water resistance, which is sufficient for surface exposure. If you want to swim lightly on the surface, this is not your typical 30-meter Calatrava. So it does have a little bit of a tougher sports aptitude than you'd find on a conventional Patek Philippe Calatrava watch, but it's not your diver. That's why you're on the Nautilus waitlist after all. Now you can see the watch features a handsome movement and a ghosted Patek Philippe New York 2017 logo underneath the sapphire. Let me see if I can find a better angle for that, because I think it's the kind of thing that will always be subtle. There really isn't a way to show it to best advantage on this video, but you can clearly see that there is a ghosted symbol and signage of the Grand Exhibition from Cipriani in New York in 2017, the kind of event that Patek will do every 10 to 15 years. So even if you're not from New York, it was a special event that will be looked back upon as a milestone and a high watermark by Patek Philippe collectors globally. Now this is the 324S. It's a center-second, no-date application of Patek Philippe's standard automatic winding caliber. Take a good look at that dial, because you're not likely to see another of this type. Clean, with 3 hands, all mounted at center. It's an unconventional look for Patek and a rare, time-only 3-hand application of the 324 automatic. It has a 45-hour power reserve. It features an efficient unidirectional winding system with ceramic rotor bearings for high efficiency. It doesn't feature hacking or stop seconds, but it does feature a modern 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate and both a free-sprung Gyromax style Patek Philippe balance for accuracy as well as shock resistance. With a Spiromax hairspring, the fruits of the advanced research series from the mid to late 2000s, the Spiromax silicone hairspring is robustly anti-magnetic, giving the watch a measure of resistance, not just in the face of aviation hazards, but in a modern home or office environment with refrigerator doors, purses, wallets, speakers, subwoofers, and high-powered wiring looms. This is a handsome timepiece made in 600 pieces, already sold out, very much a hot ticket. For the last 2 model years, few Patek Philippe timepieces have caused as much buzz as this one. They say if you want to invest in Patek Philippe, invest in steel, and this is certainly a steel Patek Philippe that is going places. An absolute blast to wear and an excellent collector prospect. You can see this Patek Philippe Calatrava 5222A pilot style Calatrava and buy it on our website.